Yeah, I haven't seen the beginning of it though. I just like try them on.
They
blindly.
they're just talking at the start, and then eventually one of them's like, "Welcome back to the yard."
Well, I guess we can just like, I guess that could be the intro if you already started recording. We're talking about how we're gonna introduce this.
Yeah, I did start recording.
Oh, perfect. Hello, everybody.
Brother man.
Welcome to the JLB Podcast. My name's Joker,
This is Needle.
and we have a guest,
I'm Joey. I'm King J. Hi.
better known as
How's it going?
KingJ0444. How are you doing today, Joey?
I am good. I'm tired.
You're
That's my
tired?
usual. I don't know. I sleep till like 3 p.m. every day. It's the usual.
Oh, he's on that Taco Bell sleep schedule. That was me when I
Oh
worked
my
at Taco
God.
Bell. It was so bad. I fell asleep at like 8 a.m. and then woke up at 3. It was
I'm on that
terrible.
pace schedule, man. That pace
True.
That was me with Wendy's because my
That pace
shift
Denny
was, like, 3 to
schedule.
11. It was
Actually, the
so
only
bad.
reason you wake up at pace early is to go get Denny's. Let's
Oh
be
my
completely
God.
honest.
Man, I'm so real.
I never went to Denny's at Pace. I don't think we went to
No,
IHOP
we
like
never
4
went.
times.
We went to IHOP. We never went to Denny's. I think like
I feel like Denny's is like a rite of passage at pace.
bro.
Denny's is
I
like
think Joker was probably the only one that woke up late.
yeah.
Started early. I think no, you were the one that woke up early. Everyone else just.
Oh my
we
God.
all just
Remember when
slept in, dude.
Remember when I walked to I woke up at like 6 a.m. and the only place that was open and I wanted to eat so bad. I walked a mile and a half to Dunkin' fucking Donuts.
Yeah, he was
And I ate an
At, like,
entire
6 a.m.
dozen of donuts.
It doesn't help that the hotel, the sleep-in hotel, had like no like breakfast at all. So
Oh, dude,
it was rough.
it was like continental. Is that what's called continental breakfast? It was like
Yeah.
a Belgian waffle if you ask for it and coffee.
And then the
Like, what
difference
am I supposed
between
to
that
do?
and
we're
like
all like we're either between teenagers and like in our 20s. What do you want us to do?
Yeah.
Maybe we need to eat.
Dude, it's night and day because I just came back from ESA, right? And ESA you get like it's such a good breakfast and there's so many options and stuff like that. So and it's free too. So like it's not just like one waffle. Like
You guys got it good in Europe. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, well, everything
I
in
know.
Europe is better.
To be fair, our hotel was a 2-star, so.
Oh my God. Yeah, wait, didn't they describe it on the website as like a 3-star hotel, but it was
Yeah, it
really
was
like
like 3 or
2.5
2.
star.
Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? That's being generous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom, when she came with me the first time, I said, yeah, they have a 3-star hotel that they recommend, and they're having the Pace block at. And she only came for a day. She was planning to stay the whole week, but she ended up only coming for a day because she realized that I wasn't 18 at the time, and Day was old enough and mature enough to take care of me if something were to happen. But she was like, I am not fucking staying there. I'm not
I love
staying.
She also like kind of assigned me to take care of him too, but
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Oh my
21
God.
at the
She
time,
gave-
I was 20.
She gave Nintendo $100 fucking dollars.
What?
Yeah.
To take
Bro,
care
I don't
of
get
me.
it.
to babysit you?
And, like,
What do you mean?
We were saying like we didn't really like we weren't
I'm-
doing it for the money, like because like it's like we were just making sure that everyone's safe. Like we were still gonna hang out or whatever. The
Yeah.
fact that
Hey,
she
I
gave
made-
him
I made
$100
sure that you-
was funny.
I let you compensate my Celeste run. Where's my $100? What the heck?
Dude,
I should get
I-
some money for that.
fuck, what was I gonna fucking say? Oh yeah, I'm old enough and big enough to defend myself if like someone were to try and mug me. I was pretty much Needle Swag and Day's bodyguard while I was there. I was like
And
I looked like
for it.
I looked like a bouncer compared to them. And, and they got paid. What the fuck is that, man?
It was
Such
so funny.
BS.
Joker, it's hard work looking after people. Okay, we had to make sure you didn't like trip on the curb or something.
I
Like,
was
the-
only
the-
in 16
During
at
the
the time.
summer though, I was tasked to take care of Joker, but that was only because Day wasn't here, and I was already 21 at the time.
Yeah,
So
they was supposed to come, but something happened, a personal thing.
yeah, it was like
He couldn't.
yeah, and he couldn't. It was with his mom, and he couldn't. He said he was gonna just stay behind instead. And I was like, yeah, that's honestly better to do that.
I mean, it worked out for you well though, because right after summer, you pretty much just moved in with him right after.
Yeah.
Well, yesn't.
Yeah.
I guess
my favorite.
I'll like kind of go into that a little bit. So like pretty much so my mom didn't really, so from the start, from like the first pace, my mom didn't really like the idea of me going to pace, despite her always telling me I should go out more and all that stuff. She didn't like it.
Right.
So I guess it was the idea of me going out because like going into another state to hang out. But like the thing was like I had gotten my license and I was like, I'm fine to drive there because from Salisbury Mills where I was, it was like a 4-hour drive. And I guess
Right.
she didn't like that. I was gonna be on the highway, but it's like I've been on the highway multiple times. She just trying to kind of put scary thoughts in my head, so she had my stepdad do it. And then Day was the one who took me back home. And then
Right.
second phase came, and we stayed there longer. What was it, like 12 days that we were there
Something like that.
instead of
We
the
were
normal?
Yeah.
we stayed like, I want to say, we left the same day as everyone else, but I think we got, when did it start? I think we got there June
I think it was
28th.
the 28th.
Yeah, it
Was
was.
the
I
28th
just
that
I
month?
just know
Yeah.
that someone did one of the 246 races there, which I found was funny.
Yeah, I know we went there June 28th because it was my brother's birthday when I was traveling.
Right.
But I think the event started July 2nd, I want to say.
It was July 2nd. Yeah, I remember.
So we were there, what? If I got there late, like evening 28, then 29, 30, 31 first. Yeah, like 4.5 extra days.
Yeah.
And that
And
Swag at the end elaborated, saying like, I think coming for an extra 5 days was not the play.
so the original reason why we did it was because we didn't get to do a lot on the first pace, so we figured those 4 extra days we can do a bunch of stuff before everyone starts coming in and we start going to the venue more. But like it just didn't work
The problem
out. But
is,
it's only because like it was just 12 days like in the same room basically, and
yeah,
that does like mess with
It
you
does
a lot.
it gets you.
yeah.
Yeah, you
I
start to clash with people and it's just not good.
We had another
Yeah.
friend that came by on one of the final days, Jaden, and
Oh yeah.
I felt so incredibly bad for him because at that point we were so socially exhausted.
Yeah.
It was like day 10 of us being there. I was over it. I think maybe a night or two before, Needle, Swag, and I got in a huge fight.
Yeah.
Me and Needle talked about this like during a Mario Kart speedrun that we just did that was like 21 hours long. We had talked about
Yeah.
this, yeah.
I
Yeah,
talked about it.
no,
It was not great.
it was.
It like it almost ended like bad. Not the fight, but like me and Swag going to the venue. So like pretty much I got in my car and Swag came with me and we were just gonna go to the venue just to like kind of separate for a bit. And I was on my way to the venue and this guy was like he was coming out of like one of the side like streets
Mhm.
and he wasn't looking
Oh
and I
shit!
couldn't see him. I couldn't see him. But he was on his. By the time I saw him, he was on his phone. Luckily, I have like pretty good
Oh
reflexes
my
that
god!
slammed on my brakes. But I would have T-boned him if that would have happened,
Holy
and it got
Look,
me.
man,
Yeah, it would have got me.
dude!
It
If
got me
look,
like so
I'm gonna
mad
say
at the
it, just
thought.
Maryland drivers, man. Maryland
Laurel,
drivers.
it's just
Seriously,
Laurel, man. Swag says it's not
dude,
that
it
bad
got
where
me
he
so
is.
mad. It got me so upset, and then I remembered that Swag was sitting next to me, and I felt so guilty because I didn't want him to think like this is how I am when I'm on the road, because I'm not. But
Yeah.
that moment made me so mad, and I was
Oh
like,
my
okay,
god.
let me not cause another accident after that. Let me relax
No,
and just get us to the venue. Like
Yeah.
it's
it
okay.
was
It could be
awful.
worse. You could be like Rocks, where
Dude.
he had 8 people in his car, and bro drove the opposite way into a one-way.
Oh my
Crazy,
god.
Or
dude. When
like,
you told me that, I was like, what?
Oh
yeah,
my
no, you just
god.
like so there's like a whole like loop roundabout one-way at Pace. Where the
Yeah,
hotel is at, and like it's a sharp turn to go into the sleep-in hotel parking lot.
exactly.
Leaving
Yeah,
it, Rocks had like 8 of us in his car
that
at
is
fall or
actually
no, it was either
scary.
fall or summer, and he just he was like, okay, we got to go to the Denny's, and so he just turned left. I'm like, you can't do
Oh
this,
my god,
Bro, are
rocks.
you?
did a U-turn afterwards.
That's
Dude,
crazy.
That's why we
Oh
always
that's
my,
talk about Rox's bad driving
yeah.
habits.
Oh my god.
Jesus
Do
Christ.
you remember the Needle? Do you remember the Pace Winter 22? The thing that happened while Day was driving and like he
Yeah,
started screaming.
yeah. So pretty much, we were. I don't know where we were coming from,
I
but
think it
we
was
were on our way
it from
back
the
to the
buffet?
venue. It might have been, yeah. We were on our way back to the not the venue, the
Oh
hotel.
no, it wasn't the buffet
and
because I would have been mad at
we
Swag.
were. This was at the time when Day was here, so he was driving his car,
Mhm.
and there was like a group. There was like a group of like drunk women, like in a big like black truck,
Oh no.
and they like it was so bad. They're clearly like intoxicated, and we didn't get run off the road, but we got forced to. It got to a point where we would have gotten crushed had we still like
Yeah.
gone in the direction we're going. So we had to go to we had to like go right into a whole different like street. And like Day got really upset, I got upset, and then Swag like started to have a panic attack, and it was really bad.
Swag,
Dude.
yeah, swag gets really bad when there's like a lot of people yelling.
We had
Sensory
almost
overload.
So
type shit,
I had to
though.
like console him, and he had to go to his room for like 5 minutes once we got back to the hotel.
We had
Yeah,
almost the
it was
same
really
thing
bad.
happen. Like, cause we in my room that event was
Mhm.
I was rooming with Glenjamin, Jay, and Halkari,
Yeah,
and so we were in the car with us four going to get food in the morning, and there was like this semi truck. We were like on the other side of it, on the left side towards the curb,
God.
and like we started doing this turn, and the semi truck without even like warning just started to turn into our lane, and we were
oh
halfway
shit,
like
That's
alongside of it.
crazy.
yeah,
So we almost like got pushed off the side.
dude,
Maryland drivers,
yeah,
they're
They
great.
are
Maryland
not
drivers, yeah.
great. Like people
I
talk about New Jersey drivers and how they don't use their turn signals. At the very least, they're not as crazy though. Like,
yeah,
bro,
I
Maryland is bad.
I didn't mention it to you at the time, Needle, because you were one, tired as fuck, and two, you probably would have panicked. When I dropped off Cheesy at the airport on the last day of summer 23, I almost got in an accident in your car.
Oh my
It wasn't
god.
my fault. Some asshole started cutting me off, and I had to like slam on the brakes once. And it
My mom
was
would have killed me.
yeah, dude. I seriously,
Bro.
I felt so bad the whole way home after that. I was
I
like, oh
mean,
my god, if I
at least
got in
you
a fucking
didn't get.
accident,
Yeah, I was gonna say at least you didn't get into an accident. That's the
yeah,
important part.
dude,
I
I
love how
would
we're
have. I would have been more worried about you because, like, obviously, like, I don't really
right.
care about the car, and my
The car
mom,
was kind of
like,
a
she's gonna yell at me, but like, it is what it is. I probably would have been more concerned about you,
yeah.
if anything.
I hate to say it, the car was kind of a piece of shit.
What?
um,
Mine?
yeah, the blue car.
Yeah, it wasn't that
It
great.
wasn't great. The brakes were acting weird. There was no radio. We
Yeah.
had to bring the Bluetooth speaker into the car.
Yeah, it like my radio like stopped working on the way to Pace. It was so bad. It's like annoying.
I
Yeah.
love
But
how
it
we're
was like
talking
I had.
about.
It's funny because I did a bunch. Like I went to the mechanic and got all that stuff fixed just for it to mess up, and that just tells me that the mechanic just did not do anything.
Oh
Like
my god.
nothing
Yeah.
changed. It
Oh,
was
and
so
another time when
stupid.
I felt so bad. Remember? Okay, I think it was like first night Pace to Winter 22. I brought my Wii U, and your TV
That's your first
fell.
mistake.
Your TV
Dude, my
fell
TV like
over
fell on top
onto
of the
my
Wii U, dude.
gamepad, and
What?
the
Dumb.
joystick like cracked the TV.
It was so
Jeez.
dumb.
Wait, it
And
cracked the TV? I thought it
Yeah,
would
it
have
cracked.
cracked your
It's like messed up.
gamepad.
That was the
No,
first
no,
night.
my gamepad was fucking fine. This shit's sturdy as fuck. But
The TV just
yeah.
like completely got
So
destroyed because it fell, but it fell so fast that
yeah.
like it just
So
kind of.
like 2 days later, we went what was it, Best Buy? We
Yeah,
went to
it was
Best
like Best Buy or
Buy,
something.
and the next day I told my mom about it, and she had me put her on in my ear instead of on speaker because I was with him. I think we were headed to Kmart when we were talking to her, but I I put her in my ear, and she was like, do you need to like pay him back for breaking his TV? And at the time I said no, it's fine. I think we've got it. And then I ended up paying for half the TV because
It's just a TV. I mean,
it
you can
was
buy another.
Yeah, it
had
wasn't that big a deal.
my gamepad not been there, it would have been fine, but it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
So it
I mean,
wasn't
it
it
wasn't
would
that
have
big a
landed
deal
on your
for me.
lap. That would have been 10 times worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really wasn't that big of a deal. Like I wasn't like mad. I was more upset about the TV breaking than whose device was underneath it. Like I did not
Right.
care.
Yeah.
I knew that it
Yeah.
wasn't Joker's fault. It was just
Yeah.
dumb.
Swag didn't get there till like late the first day of Pace last time.
Yes.
Or,
So I
in
got there like the night of
22.
the first day.
It
Dude, I
was
love how they were like talking about like these accidents and like stuff like that happened at Pace. Look, people listening, Pace is great, okay? Like,
Yeah,
This
Pace-
is fun.
this
It
is
wasn't the
so
event
fun.
itself. It was just stuff that happened outside of the event.
yeah.
Like, it was just
I
like
It's a very
think I
well
stand
put
by-
together event. It's
I think that
awesome.
every pace has gotten better each time. I think the only case that wouldn't be that is the summer one that I went to, like the Pace Summer 2020 3, and the only reason why is because of personal things, like things like arguments going on and stuff like that.
There's
So
a lot.
Right.
it wasn't
There's a
the
lot of
actual
hostility going on.
it wasn't actually the event, but like
Yeah.
I'm very excited
Yeah.
for this next pace. So
I think I
very
liked.
well- I think it could have very well been the heat. Like
It
might have been the heat.
It was like July. It was like
Yeah.
hot. It was like
Because-
summer. And
Yeah, because I'm like, as I've said, because I'm a larger person, it was so fucking difficult for me to get around, especially since we didn't usually take Needle's car to the venue. I think we eventually ended up doing that when we were like all together doing it, but if it was just individually, we'd walk on that hot ass path. Unless it was nighttime, then it was fine.
Yeah, true.
But it was so sunny. It killed me, dude. And then their ice cream machine at the venue wasn't fucking working. So I had to, and then we ran out of like water like twice, I think. So it was just difficult.
Dude, like, I mean, no matter like the downsides of each pace, I think each of them have like their own like thing I look back on with like such like happy memories and stuff like that. Though
the whole reason we went. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, you're good.
The whole reason we went in the first place, I think, well, partly because we just wanted to be in like a speedrun event. We wanted to see it, and but also summer of 2022, I just submitted Odyssey Mario's moveset to a random event that I didn't know really what it was. I knew that it went on in 2019, but I thought, maybe I could do it remotely. And so I signed up for it, and I got in, which to my surprise, holy shit, it would be my first time ever doing a marathon, and it's such a big one. And then I DM'd Milo. I didn't know who to DM about it because Milo is also the same role as everyone there. I just happened to pick the guy who was running the whole event somehow.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Yeah. And he was like, the whole point is that because we're after quarantine, we're trying to get everyone there. And so it took a lot of convincing for my mom to let me go.
Yeah.
But
at least she did though.
Yeah, it was like the last thing I ever got without me paying for it. So.
The reason I started going to pace events was like I have to owe a lot to GSA because it was the first ever events that I've gone to. So I submitted to GSA Glitch Infinite, which was like a side thing of a Smash event.
Right.
It was a speedrun side thing that went for 3 days, and I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna get in." Like, so I submitted Splatoon because I saw Hex submitting to it, and he was like, "Hey, submit this event, even if you don't think you have a chance, just submit. You never know." And I was like, "Okay, you know what? I'll submit." I don't like because I've never been in an in-person event or anything like that, and so my expectations were at an all-time low. And then I got in, and not only did I get in, but I was like one of the only 4 people who weren't a Twitch partner to get in. So like I was I was in this event with people like Trihex and Average Trey and 360 Charisma, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm just like, what? And then like
I'd be so overwhelmed.
Yeah, so then I was just like, okay, well they're doing this thing in fall called Pace. I'm gonna submit to this, and I was like, okay. So I submitted 2 games that were like brand new, right? So I submitted Stray and Kirby Forgotten Land. I'm like, okay, those 2 probably have a good chance of getting in. That year also went to ESA, so that was like the whole start of going to these speedrun events. Once I went to one, I wanted to go to many others. And then I was like, okay, cool. If I get one of these 2 in, I'm happy. And like this back when you can only submit 3 runs, and I got all 3 in, and I was just like, I guess I'm going. I guess I'm running 3 things. Like what?
Wow.
One of them was 380 stars, which is like crazy that I got in. 380 at 3 in the morning with Jay.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Everyone was just like, I love that.
I remember meeting you. I remember our meeting you because that was during SB's run.
Oh my god!
And that was the
day I landed. That was the day I landed there because like the whole reason why that was a thing was I landed and I really wanted to get food. I showed up like after the event started because my flight got delayed, and SB wanted me to commentate, but I wasn't gonna make it in time to commentate his run. So a lot of us just went out to go get food. We had like 10 people go out to Fridays, and then we came back and we're like, let's just be as hype as we can for everything he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the plan. It was awesome.
I was
this is when like no one.
I think in the audience at first it was Needle.
Yeah, you
Swag
all were in
Day.
the audience.
And then I was like, I'll catch up with you guys. I want to get some snacks. So I went to get some snacks from the vending machine. And then I came back, and while I was eating Oreos, every time he got a shine or he went on Yoshi, I was like, yeah, go SB, yeah, and then clap a few times.
Look, I'm just gonna say, like, back then, that meant a lot to everybody. Like, even if you didn't think it meant a lot, like the late night crew, because no one else showed up for those runs. Because
That
it was
late
like,
night crew.
yeah,
LNHC is crazy.
Yeah, that was
Oh
like
my God.
that was like the best thing. Especially like that made it so like my 3D World run had people just screaming random stuff in the middle of it.
Yeah.
It was like, it's like funny, like it like slowly progressed to like us just cheering everything. And I think my favorite moment of that run was at the ending when we all saluted for Flood dying. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was like my favorite.
Dude, like the again going from like ESA to pace was like such a weird kind of like whiplash because I went to like a giant speedrun event in Sweden and like keep in mind this is back when pace is bigger now, but
Yeah.
back then there was like not even 200 people attempting. This time we're having like 500 people going.
Wow.
So like it's gonna be a lot bigger this time.
This-
so a lot
this,
more people are gonna watch runs.
This pace might
Yeah.
be the last one at the Laurel racetrack because apparently
They need to scale up, like for sure.
not only that,
Oh,
but
definitely
apparently Xanadu Games is shutting down because that whole building is shutting down.
Oh, fair.
I
Yeah.
think something like that's happening. But if it,
I'm hoping it's somewhere close because like it would suck for me to have to.
yeah, I mean, I hope it's around the same area. I like the Laurel area. I mean, as much as there's a lot of
But
crime
East
and a
Coast-
lot
I
of
just
people
like
who
being on
suck
the
at
East Coast.
fucking driving.
But yeah, like no, the having people show up for your runs though, it like
Yeah,
for in-person events, like it means a lot. Like when I did my Splatoon run at GSA Glitch Infinite, all of the smaller people were like at 3 a.m. So like no one was there. We had 0 people in the audience. So just having like a dozen people there for 380, which I didn't expect,
Yeah.
was awesome. And then
Yeah.
calling
I
out
remember-
Stamp and stuff like that.
I
I remember doing a 380 like alongside you, and it wasn't
You
even, like,
did,
speedrun, it was
yes.
me doing 380. It was like really funny.
yeah.
You were doing it, and then I think Glenn mentioned it. Glenn was like, "Hey Joey, by the way, we have an update. Someone is currently doing a 380 run. Let's see if you can
Yeah.
beat them."
I swear.
That's how I met Joey though, and I feel like that was so worth it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that run because it's just one of the stupidest runs of and one of the funniest runs I've ever had. I got someone who never ran the game, Jay, to like at ESA, I got 3 people who ran Mario Galaxy. I had Jay, Galactic, and Hardcore Gaming. We did a 4-player 380 star run, and then I was like, "Hey Jay, do you want to commentate 380? I'm doing it at pace," and he's just like, "You know what? Screw it, man. Sure." And he was like so tired and jet lagged,
Oh
but
my
it led to
So
some
real.
really funny moment. Everything except the ending. The ending, I was mauling a bit, so it just wasn't that great. But it had so many funny moments, like Dave the Fish and stuff like that.
Oh
Right.
my god.
Yeah, dude, when I was commentating your Celeste run, I think I was blacked out until Summit.
Dude, that Celeste run was actually like I that might be one of my favorite speedruns I did in front of a live audience because the audience was great.
Yeah.
Like we had like this was like early in the morning, like at 8 a.m. Like this is one of the last runs
yeah.
before an LTA. I was like, no one's gonna show up for Celeste, but like people started coming in, and by the end of the run, we had like 30 people watching or something like that.
Yeah, it was
I-
crazy.
I just, because I feel like I'm absolutely terrible at commentary, just on the spot commentary. I need to have something written down in front of me to feel confident in what I'm speaking about. And so
Mhm.
the run was going like 3, 2, 1, go, gone. Everything went black.
You did good at explaining stuff though.
Did I?
Yeah.
I felt like I felt like I was going too quickly.
Benny did way less than you did.
Well,
like depends on
Benny
the-
also had like a 50, didn't he?
Yeah,
Maybe-
but like he asked to join, so I let him on. He's also a good friend of mine. So
Yeah, that's fair. Him and I follow
I
each
feel
other
like-
on Twitter now.
maybe it's like depending on the game or like the people you're with, but like sometimes like the opposite is kind of cool where you're commentating without like a script. That's kind of something that I did for Mario Kart. I knew about Mario Kart, so that definitely helped. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I think it was just like the Mario Kart people that were doing the actual run, and then like the people I was commentating with. I think it was just fun. I really enjoyed like commentating for that Mario Kart
Yeah.
TA. It was
Yeah.
actually really fun.
My favorite commentary I've ever done was I commentated at Glitch Infinite. I hit up Mr. Link 2K who was running Undertale, and I was just like, "Hey, if you want a commentator and you just want like a hype man, let me know." He said no, but then like 2 hours before his run, he was like, "Do you still want to do it? Because I could use another person." And that night, I spent like an hour, or like sorry, it was the night before his run. But that night, I like basically just spent an hour just watching his PB and getting like notes and stuff like that, or like mental notes. So like that was like the first time I ever just like actually studied for a run, and that just shows you can commentate anything, even if you've never run the game before. Like I
True.
think I did a pretty good job. And someone who ran the game and is a friend of mine, 30 Aces, just DM me being like, "Yeah, no, that was a really good like explanations of stuff for someone who's never like done anything other than play the game casually."
Yeah. I think the first time I ever commentated, actually, I was wrong. Pace wasn't my first marathon I'd ever been in. When I was running VR games back in
Oh,
2017, 18, I was very young. I was 12 in 2018.
VR chat
Um,
Oh
speedrunning.
my god.
it wasn't VR chat. In the marathon I ran, Just in Time Incorporated. Um, no one knows what that game
I don't know
is.
what that is.
Nobody knows what that game is. But well, hold on. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the first time I commentated was on a run where it was called Frog Fractions. It was some weird flash
Oh
game,
god.
and I was in the general call for that marathon. It was called Speedathon. It was held by like TGH and a bunch of other
Oh yeah.
Celeste runners, I think. It was to save up money for someone to get to GDQ. I don't remember who, but yeah, I was just there like 30 minutes before every run to talk to the person, get them ready for their run. No one asked me to. I just wanted to. I just wanted to get to know people,
Yeah.
get those connections, And so I talked with the guy about frog fractions for like 30 minutes, and eventually he was just like, "You know enough about the game at this point. It's a 3 minute long run. Do you want to commentate?"
Let's go.
And so I
That's actually insane.
commentated for frog fractions, and yeah, as I said, it was like a 5 minute run. It was so short. But yeah, I had been in do you know who Gaming Land is? He's a Wii Sports runner.
Oh yeah, no, I know him. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in. He held a marathon back in like 2018. I forgot what it was. 2019 actually. I forgot what it was called though.
I think I know what you're talking about, like
Um,
Resort Fest or something.
Something like that. It wasn't Wii Sports though. I ran Vacation Simulator.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I ran Just in Time Incorporated and Speedathon, and then I ran Vacation Simulator in whatever Gaming Lands was. And then I
Yeah.
think I didn't have any after that because 2020, 21 were like 2020 was fine. 2021 was the worst year of my life. And then 20,
Dang.
2022 I actually had the motivation to start like speed running longer things again. That's where Odyssey Mars Mirrorset
Yeah.
came in, and then I submitted that to Pace.
I think I did a couple like online marathons, and not gonna lie, I did like maybe a dozen or so, like
Mm.
very small marathons, and after that, I kind of just like started losing motivation until I started thinking about maybe doing multi Mario. And then as soon
Mhm.
as I decided to do multi Mario, I like for like 3 years at that point, I had thought of submitting to GDQ, so I did. Kept submitting things that like I thought were cool and wanted to get in. And I remember because it was 2020, the pandemic hit, and I was thinking like, I don't really know if I want to do speedrunning. Like, I'm not really getting anywhere with it. I'm not really good at it. I haven't been like top level in anything. And then as soon as I thought that month, I got accepted into SGDQ. It's
Oh
like
my
SGDQ
god.
2020, and that lit a fire under my ass, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, now I'm now I know
That's
that was kind of like a
crazy.
you've made it sort of thing. And then from there on, I kind of just pushed myself to be unique and like push myself to get better at games, and that's where my multi Mario arc started,
Yeah.
ironically. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Crazy.
That's awesome, dude.
Like it's like, oh my god. Though like it's like the origins of how you start speedrunning is always so cool to hear. Like my origin is like kind of all over the place. And it's kind of started with the when COVID was like at its like craziest, which was like around 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like had graduated from high school that same year, so it was just like, what else can I do? I can't really go anywhere. The world's like shut down basically. So I remember like hopping on net, and it's kind of funny. Like it was on the Net 64, which was like a program that let you play Mario 64 online multiplayer. And at first it didn't work on my computer, but then like I tried again 2 weeks later, and it worked. And then I think I had met Zeta through that. Uh, and from there we like did 16-star races with like some people, and eventually we ran into some other people like Sunk and Jaden and True through net, and then they invited us to a Discord server,
Mm.
and then that's kind of like how it started, and then we just kind of like we branched off to a couple different servers, but it we were most of us were just mainly 64, but I don't think I got into multi Mario until actually, I don't think I got into Multi Mario until I met you, Joey, when you were doing
Yeah.
380 and I was doing it with you. And
Yeah,
I
fair.
realized I was like, oh, 3D World's kind of fun. And then I started speedrunning 3D World, and like very slowly I started speedrunning other games. I think Galaxy 1 was next on that list. Uh wait, no, Odyssey was next after 3D World, and then Galaxy 1, and then Galaxy 2, and then Sunshine. Sunshine was the last game that I learned. But or no, I think Galaxy 2 was the last game I learned. Sunshine was like very close to the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, after a while like I thought Multi Mario was pretty cool. So then I did the 246 race that happened like a couple weeks ago, and then the 540 just happened like 2 days ago. And now I'm thinking about doing a 602 that with
Yeah.
everyone else. So it's like
That's
it's
more
kind of
progression than
crazy.
more
Yeah.
natural
I
progression
used
than I did.
Well, I used to like it's funny, I used to be one of those people that used to like be like, "Oh my god, you're speedrunning Galaxy? Like it's just an auto scroller. It's so slow." And then it's
Oh
just
my god.
like then you actually speedrun it and it's like, "Oh wow, it's actually pretty fun." Like it's kind of crazy. I've speedrun so many games, and it's like it's gotten to a point where it's outside of Mario. Like I've speedrun Sonic, like I speedrun Sonic Adventure 1, Mania, and like a bunch of other like Sonic fan games, like Sonic Rumble
Yeah.
Blast 2, and then like Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit. Like those are just, I don't know, it's just been fun to like speedrun some games, and it's like
Yeah. My
I don't know,
progression was
it's
like
great.
kind of natural for me because like to get in from because I did YouTube for like 6 years prior to streaming,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So like I did YouTube for like 10 years, and like 3 of those years I was uploading every single day. So I just basically streamed whenever I wanted. And
Right.
I got into speedrunning because of GDQ and mainly from 360 Chrism. So I kind of adapted his style of just playing what like running whatever I wanted and being known for multiple things, which if if you look at my repertoire now, you could see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, but
I
there was nothing really that like made me take it seriously. Like I basically just did it for fun and like didn't take streaming or anything like that seriously until uh like two games specifically, or sorry, three games specifically, which was like Splatoon, Celeste, and Mario Odyssey, and then two of things that happened, which were moving to Twitch and uh getting into GDQ. That was kind of like my big motivation of okay, now I've kind of hit like this thing I'd never thought I would get. I gotta like take advantage of that and use that as like a
right.
motivation to uh like get better and actually like make a name for myself. So
Yeah.
that's where that started. Yeah.
Yeah. My this year marks my 7th anniversary speedrunning. Um which I don't know. It feels like really speedrunning picked up after the pandemic hit because,
Hmm.
gamers had nothing to do. There weren't games coming
Yeah.
out until late that year. And so they picked it up. But my first introduction to speedrunning was, I believe, in 2014 when I watched the blindfolded Punch Out run by Sinister at GDQ.
Ooh, yeah.
I
Oh,
think
that's a good one.
GDQ 2013. I wasn't reintroduced to the concept until 2 years later with like, like the old bad summoning salt videos where they're like not super accurate.
He did not collect 1 star.
Did
He
not
did not
collect one
collect
star.
two
He did
stars.
not collect 2 stars. Yeah. But I was reintroduced to the concept through that. I think I started watching him October 2016, give or take. I didn't start speedrunning my first game until April 2017 with a little game called Kindergarten.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Great
it's
game.
great game.
It's a great game with
Yeah,
some really weird
very
stuff in it.
kind of South Parky, if you ask me.
Dark stuff in the first like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But I started with that. I speedran that for maybe 2-3 months, and then I got bored. And someone else took all my records who was better than me at the time. I'm better than you now. I have all the records, bitch, so fuck you.
Do you just hate when a ginger takes your world record?
That's what I'm saying.
You just hate that.
I actually don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where this guy is now. I should try talking to him. But uh and then late 2017 I got my PSVR and I played a game called Job Simulator, which is like one of the best-selling VR games of all time. And I just fell in love with the game. I started speedrunning it. At the time, world record was like a 7:35. I brought it down to like a 6:30 for office worker at least, and I've been like the owner of the server ever since. I That's the one. If I lose everything else, I still have Job Simulator speedrunning.
It all comes back to Job
It all
Simulator.
comes back, and I even like get on my VR sometimes and just play that because it just brings so many memories back. But I did a few other VR speedruns after that, and then I'm trying to think about what my first like screen game was. I think weirdly enough, my first screen game was a simulator game that I now actually work on like as a developer called Tube Tycoon.
Oh yeah.
It was very popular in its heyday, but it just fell off really quickly, unfortunately. I still think it's a great game, but and then after that, it was kind of just Nintendo games.
Real.
Like Mario Zero. I did Mario Zero for a little bit,
Dude,
which is
Mario Zero.
Mario but with a
My
portal
God.
gun, like Mario
Yeah.
1 with a portal gun. I did that a little bit, and then I came back a few years later and got the world record. The world record had been standing for 6-7 years, and then I took it.
That's weird, yeah.
It was considered like one of the more dominant records on allspeedrun.com just because it hadn't been broken in so long. But then I have he's still second place, but I have it by 11 seconds now.
Nice.
And yeah, I think after that it was just Mario games, maybe not Mario,
Mhm.
but just Nintendo games. I've just fallen in love with different Mario ROM hacks like OMM, Odyssey Mario's moveset. That's something I
Yeah.
fell in love with so quickly.
Dude, this
So
like
good.
that we were watching you practice that. We didn't know who you were, right? But like me and my group, like me, Hex, and I think Platy and Jay and stuff like that. Like we were just like, yeah, no, we've been watching this guy practice this game, and the movement's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Dude,
Like,
I specifically asked Milo if I could practice on that computer because I wanted people to see. I wanted more people to know about it, and I'm so glad
Yeah,
I did because I'm
Oh,
people.
I'm
Some
having
people
such a
actually asked
crazy
me about it.
experience.
yeah,
It was so
I'm
Oh, I'm
gonna.
having such a crazy experience with 64. Like, I remember Joker had gotten Cheese to play OMM on his stream, and like seeing like you can see it, like you can see how different the game is, like the moveset is from the base game. Like how you could
Yeah,
see Cheese like struggling just to do certain like things. And it, like I said, it's not Cheese's fault. He's never played OMM, but it's just the fact that the contrast between those movesets are so insane. Even like even Odyssey runners will probably have trouble because it's not exactly the
it's
same as
not
Odyssey
Odyssey.
either. It's like
It,
it's crazy. Like
I think
Dude,
I
like
described it the perfect way in my first marathon run at pace with OMM. That being, oh, excuse me. That being, if you take the best parts of 64 and the best parts of Odyssey, and then a little bit of Sunshine, this is what you get.
yeah, it,
yeah.
it's honestly like probably one of my favorite movesets in terms of 64's PC port. It's very nice, and
Yeah.
especially when you like learn the movement. and like know how certain things work, it feels like it just falls together. It just like
I
so
hate to
good.
say it, but I've been thinking about coming back to it.
I didn't even
I don't know
know.
yet. I'm still on the fritz.
I didn't even know,
We'll
Trigger, that
see.
you and I had so many like similarities in our speedrunning stories. Like how like we both started 7 years ago, and we didn't like mine's about 7 or 8 years ago, and like we didn't really actively like pursue it as much
Yeah.
like until like the pandemic, and then not only
Yeah.
that, like just like what games we were in, because like mine was like mostly Nintendo, and it still is that, but like
Yeah.
Well,
also like
weirdly enough,
I sprinkled in some like indie games, and now I'm wanting to do like PlayStation and stuff like that, but it's like
right.
harder to pick up games like from that.
There's one game that I really want to do. I really want to try Skate 3.
Ooh,
But weirdly enough, you say pandemic. 2020, 2021. I actually don't think I speedran as much during those times. Maybe I did. Maybe I just don't remember. But around the same time as the pandemic started, I got my first like my first
like Burnout.
not burnout. My first girlfriend, really,
Ooh,
and she was just my everything.
Mario's my girlfriend.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But she was just my everything for like 5 months, and then everything just came crashing down in September of that year.
Yeah.
Dang.
But after that,
yeah.
I got into what my friend calls PMG Simulator, with Henry Stickmin collection.
Oh no.
I
yes,
started
dude.
speedrunning. I started speedrunning that. And I had like, I think there was one time when I had a category sweep on that. I had all fails, all all endings, and any
That's
percent. I was the first sub 10 at any percent. I was so happy about
Let's
that.
go.
But
That's my goat.
yeah, and the only sub 10. I guess that's the last minute barrier that can be broken.
It's
But
like when I ran Mario Combat, bro. Like,
Oh my
that was
God.
great.
oh my god,
so
Mario,
bad.
dude! I have not thought about
Dude.
that in 15 years.
I'm basically like
That's an
the
old
only
game.
mod for the
Oh my-
leaderboard, and it's
Oh
only
my
12-year-olds who run
god,
it.
that is crazy. I
That
have
game
beating
was
that game
actually-
beating that game in under 1 minute was such a huge milestone for me. That was awesome.
That's so real though.
Dude,
That's oh my.
that's so crazy.
Such a good game.
That is bringing back just
I'm
so
sorry for unlocking
many
that
memories.
part of your life.
Yeah, that is so weird.
I guess with Joker was talking about how he had like his relationship. Something happened to me during the pandemic, and like Joker knows about it.
Oh
but
yeah.
like it did kind of suck, but it was kind of the same story where like they were my everything. Like it just kind of like right before my birthday too. We just like kind of everything
dang.
just
Just
kind of
came crashing
yeah.
down.
Is that
Yeah.
yeah, that happened. That ironically, you guys know that happened. That's why Pace Summer
Yeah,
was
yeah,
my
we know.
favorite to look back
Yeah.
on. Like it has some good moments. That's where the whole 70 relay started. Was
Yeah.
that event? But like
Weirdly enough,
it's
some of
hard to
my favorite moments.
look back at that.
Weirdly enough, some of my favorite moments from Pace Summer 23 were actually with you. Like one of my top 10 moments was just us at the party just trying to throw this one bottle cap into each other's mouths, knowing full well that if we actually made it, we'd start choking.
I actually do not remember that.
God.
We
Yeah.
still kept. I think you were drunk. I was the only one at the party that
Definitely
decided
was.
to stay sober. But
No, those parties I hosted were so funny.
yeah,
Okay,
but I
crazy.
but I didn't. I'm not really the type to. I've never drank. I've never smoked. I really don't
Fair.
want to.
Yes,
I only do it at events. Like
I see
like,
people.
my time to do it.
I've seen people like my dad who've gotten really ugly when smoking or drinking, and he stopped now. But it was just, it's just not something I want to turn out to be.
Yeah,
I
I'm the same way.
Because if I don't
can't.
start, I can't get addicted.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. That's a good way to think about it. Like that's kind of how I feel too. Like
I've
people are like, "Oh, you're 20." I'm 22 now, but it's like, "Oh, you're this age and you're not doing this," and it's like, I mean, it's not. There's no law that requires me to do it. I don't
Yeah.
just because the cigarettes are on the shelf on the other side of the gas station doesn't mean I have to buy them. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they're an optional thing. The same thing with alcohol. Just because they sell it in stores doesn't mean I have to purchase them. There's nothing requiring me to do that. So why should I? Why should I waste my money on things that are only gonna harm me at the end? I'd rather spend my money on video games and spend
Let's
it like
go!
waste it that way
That's what
than
I'm saying.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Yo, my
I'd rather do
man.
that.
Yeah.
The only thing, like the only time I drink is at these events because that's just like a it's
Yeah.
just let's party. Like I don't drink alone. I'm only a social drinker. And even when I do
Right.
drink, I've never gotten to the point like I've gotten drunk, but like I always remember that night and I don't forget what like, I don't lose myself, you know? So
Yeah.
like it's to the
Exactly.
point where like even at parties, like last pace, I got drunk sometimes, but like I was still able to be like that like the
Yeah, you're
sensible
still able
one.
to. Yeah. Exactly.
Like I walked people from one hotel to the other because they were worried about walking alone and they wanted someone to look out for them. I walked Leanne back because I wanted her to get back to her roommate safe and like
Right.
not walk
Right.
alone outside.
Yeah.
So
That's like,
like
oh man, that's like the
yeah.
beauty of. That's like kind of the beauty of pace. It's not just a bunch of randoms, like random people that don't know each other, like, or like a bunch of different groups of people that are, playing games and speedrunning. It's kind of like a family in a way. Like
No, Pace feels like a
we always watch out
community.
for each other.
Yeah.
Like,
People ask at ESA why I like why because I started doing that thing where I'm ranking the events that I've been to, which is really hard to
yeah,
compare them sometimes. But
Yeah.
the reason
yeah,
why Pace Fall like this last Pace ranks so high is just because everybody vibed with everybody. Like you
Right.
got like Lego
yeah,
speedrunners talking with Mario 64 people. Like all the Lego
yeah.
people were hanging out with Liam.
You don't
Yeah.
see that often either.
Yeah.
It's like so I guess this is how it is for me. So first pace, I kind of went because Joker. It was mainly because Joker needed a commentator for OMM, and it was like I also thought I was like, hey, this is a chance for me to see the friends that I've been talking to for like 2-3 years at this point.
You'd met
I might as well
Swag
like take
once or
this
twice.
opportunity. So so yeah, I went the first time. But then after going, I was like, oh, this is like I wasn't sure obviously on the way. But then, after spending that week, I was like, oh, this is sick. And the second time I went because of everyone. It wasn't just because I needed to commentate. It was more because I got to meet the friends that I made the last time. And then that's kind of the same thing for Fall Pace, where it was like I'm just coming for the people mainly. Like just the amount of friends that I've made and the vibes are just really good at
Yeah.
Pace. And
Yeah.
like
Dude, that's why I'm
it
glad
makes me
like
kind of sad that I'm not going this year because
oh
of money stuff, but
Right. But
it's
we'll go back
really
eventually
fun.
for sure.
Yeah,
I'd
that's
love
why I'm
to.
glad with like where I am at Pace. Like it's been such a progressional journey where like my first one I went to Pace, I did a few runs, cool. The second time I went, I decided, hey, I want to do this stupid 70-star idea. Like,
yeah,
can I do this on stage, Milo? Milo said no because he didn't know how we were going to organize it. So I said, screw it, I'll do it myself. And now we're at the point where it's like I'm basically a staff member putting on these
it's a
things
regular
each
thing
time.
now. Yeah,
Yeah, and like it's like the thing that some people are literally going there for. There's like 4 people who said they're only going for the 70 relay, which
that's
is
Yeah.
gotta feel good, man.
gotta
That's gotta feel good
I
Yeah.
had people last
knowing
time come
that.
up and like again like I do that stuff and the pace dinners and like the buffet and stuff like that. I do that because I want people to look back on it fondly. And I had people like multiple people last time say like, "Yo, thanks for making this like pace so much better, like the experience better. You don't
Yeah,
know how much it means." Like it meant the world to me that simply at the party said pace wouldn't be the same without me. That shit hit hard.
yeah.
Like
That was like hearing things like that from people you looked up to, like people that are like huge in their communities. That feels good. Like I have a couple of those, like mainly with Cheese and GTM, where like um I remember like I think it was I remember talking with Simply and Cheese on the first space, in the first space, and I was talking to them about co-op and stuff because like at that point we had already kickstarted the co-op speedrunning community. Me, Joker, Swag, and a couple of others, and Zeta, and and um and like we talked to them about that, and they seemed interested because I think they had played co-op in a video of theirs
yeah,
before. I think Artemis had told me that they played co-op. Artemis had like made a mod or something for them where they were doing it was like some like 10v2 thing, kind of like how Minus World did. And it was
Mhm.
like
yeah,
Cheese and Simply versus like everyone else. It was really
yeah. I do
cool.
remember that. It was for
And
Simple as You too.
I remember just talking to them and they were chill with me. Like they like they said how like chill I was and all that stuff. And I remember like after that, I guess the realization hit me and I like kind of started crying. I don't like to admit that to many
I
people. Like
Mhm.
I kind of started crying because it was like it was one, the end of pace, and two, it was like I looked up to these two for years, and for them to just be like, yeah, you're actually really cool. Like it
Yeah,
was just like wow. And it was like second pace was the same thing, summer pace. Like I remember at the end of pace, I was talking to Cheese And I told them, I was like, it's surprising that you even remember me, because like I didn't feel like that I was that big, and like I wasn't that big in the community that I was representing. And he was like, I remember he told me, he was like, man, how, like, I can't, like, how could I forget you? He was like, it's hard to forget you, and that felt good. And like,
Yeah.
third pace, I remember we were just playing. I think we were playing Mario. I was playing Mario or I was watching Swag play, but we were in the venue. And I remember like Cheese like approached me this time, and he tapped me in the shoulder. He was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And I was like, "Wow, this is like,"
Mm-hmm.
it was just something I wasn't used to. It was
Yeah.
just like
It's
it
really
was
funny.
really
Like,
nice.
yeah, we
Yeah.
talked about this too because I remember mentioning how last pace Chiefs came up to me at like day 0, like before the event. I just landed and waiting for people to give me a room key.
Yeah.
And Chiefs I was talking with the New Super Marvel's people who were doing a relay, and Chiefs came up to me and was like, "Hey, yeah, so what are we doing with the relay?" And we just started talking, and we were talking for like a good 2 minutes. And then randomly, they like I think it was Alien Shocks just comes up to Cheese. He's like, "Hey, sorry, can we get a picture?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, you two haven't met. My bad." Like,
Yeah.
it's so funny how like desensitized we are to that, like now.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
I get what you mean by like tuning up though. Like I've had a video on my YouTube. It was announcing it was teasing the fallathon actually, at
Mhm.
the like halfway through last year where I was teasing it. And it was like I didn't mean for it to be a super motivational video, but it was basically showing all the
Mhm.
really cool stuff I've done on Twitch.
Right.
Like from live events to like multi Mario, and and at the end I had like this whole like emotional thing where it's like streaming has really made me come out of my shell, and I think you can really see
Mhm.
that specifically from the first event that I went to where I was super nervous to
Right.
talk to everyone to now I'm just like I'm like not like
Yeah.
people that like people are coming up to me and being like yo like thanks for putting this stuff on and stuff like that, and like thanks for like making community events. It's really cool to see that progression.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like,
My favorite greeting at second pace was Wit It.
Oh, I love
oh my
and
Wyatt.
god,
okay,
dude.
so here's what happened. I was playing Mario 64, I think, on someone's N64. Might have been Swag's. Wit came up behind the TV, and he was he,
Bro.
he saw me and he was like, "Oh, no way, Mr. Needle Mouse, right?" I was I was like, "Yeah, you're close, same group. I'm Joker Factor." And he was like, "Oh, my bad, my bad." And then
But it's crazy
at the
thinking
final
about that,
day,
man.
even when I said bye to him, he was like, "Joker Factor, I'm gonna remember you." And that was so. I
Yeah.
love Wit It. Wit It was so
I think
cool.
it's funny how like we from that first phase we were like we got known from that first phase to the point where they were just like confusing us with each other. I think
Yeah,
that's really funny.
because we all hang out in the same group, so I guess it makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
mean, yeah, you
like if
guys
they see
really made it branch out with the with the sunshine shirts. To be fair,
oh yeah, I wore the sunshine for shirt the first time, and then I got Day to buy one, and then or I wore it during the summer, and I got Day to buy a sunshine shirt for fall, and then he wore it, so then we both wore our sunshine shirts at the same
Dude,
time.
that's so cool.
It was awesome. Like I don't know, I'm kind of glad because like usually I wouldn't do stuff like that. Like I wouldn't try to like stick out like that. But something told me like I said, I think it all started from that first pace because it's like even after the interaction I had with Cheese and Simply and like, my crying episode, it was like I think that was at the moment where I realized that me and my group, none of us were no longer just unknown random people that show up to these
Yeah,
events. Like people know us now. And I think that kind of made me feel happy because it's like, I've known these guys for so long. Like
yeah,
it's not just me. It's about my friends too. And I'm glad that it's not just me getting this recognition. I'm glad that
yeah,
like Joker's
yeah.
getting it. I'm glad that Swag was getting it. Detendo, like because
And
we all deserve it. We've worked so hard,
yeah,
and it feels
and
good.
now
yeah.
Swag was nominated for the Multi Mario Awards. He was like
Oh my god, yeah,
Yeah,
up and coming runner or something, and that was crazy.
like
bro. I love that.
like
Like getting like West Dog hosted that the Zoomies. And it was like so crazy because like the other thing I didn't mention is I don't talk about this too often. I don't like talking about it, but I do have like major imposter syndrome where like I don't think I deserve any of like the viewers or like the attention I've gotten.
Mhm.
But
Oh,
thankfully, yeah, like completely like that's been a thing for me my entire Twitch career. But like thankfully like doing 120 relay, doing 2405, like followed on like crazy things like this has helped me realize that like that's not true. Like I have done some cool stuff and it's slowly started helping with it. But like the craziest one where I did not expect it and I 100% was like I don't deserve this was when West Dog did content stream speedrun content creator of the year, and I was nominated with people like Smallin and Summoning Salt and Easy Speeds. I'm
Oh
like, where are
my.
the like? Why am I on there? I'm not gonna win, but like, why am I
Yeah.
there?
It's awesome,
Like,
dude.
it's
That's
awesome, and like it's just like they're so big. Those people deserve it way more than I do. It's an honor to be nominated, but god
right.
damn, like,
Yeah. I I'm just super happy with how everything's turned out.
yeah.
I
it's yeah, go ahead.
I would be completely like bad to say that I'm not happy where I currently am as a GSA person.
yeah.
Like for like GSA definitely has like made me in terms of like the IRL speedrunning place. Like people will come up to me and say hi, and I told this to like Needle, like where
Mhm.
like we've talked about this in the past, where people will literally can now go up to the people at these speedrun events. It's their first ever speedrun event, and they can have the opener of, "Hey, I'm doing this star in the relay. What are you doing? Let's talk about it." And like having that
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
having that icebreaker is just crazy. So I'm
It's
making it easier for
yeah.
people to talk to people now.
yeah,
It, it's like, man,
just
it's
everything
like
you're doing for GSA and Pace, it's so awesome, man.
Like
Like
yeah,
I
it's
know
awesome
I'm
that
not the
like Milo.
first. I'm not the first to say it. I'm not going to be the last, but you seriously are making Pace a better event.
I didn't even mean to.
yeah.
Like the 70 relay was kind of just like a I want to do this sort of thing. Like we
Yeah,
didn't
but
even do it.
it's always those. It's always
Yeah,
those like off the spur things. It's like that catches like that attention.
yeah.
Because like
Milo,
I
yeah,
guess, and I hate bringing this up because it's stupid. But like for example, one of the videos on my YouTube channel, like it was just a joke at first. It wasn't really anything serious behind it. But that's like the most viewed video on my entire channel. It's like over 4 million views, and there's
oh
no
my
reason
god.
why. And no reason why. There's like it's dumb. But it's always those like I'm gonna do this for fun, and it's usually those that get the most attention, and people start like enjoys that sort of stuff, and it's like
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I
Like,
love like I love the progression of the relay because it started off as
mhm.
just a small like community thing, like, hey, it's gonna be scuffed, let's do it on my channel. It was scuffed. But then
Yeah.
like Milo afterwards was like he came up to me, he's like, dude, we gotta do this at the event next time. And now he's basically just he basically has told me, like when I announced 120 relay last time, I didn't even clear it with Milo first. Like I announced it, I was like, I want to do this, and then Milo came up to me at the event, the party event, and he was just like, with how good this one was, I'm just gonna let you do whatever relay you want because I trust you can do it, and like I know you can do it, and it's super hype. Like that last one was so hyped that there was like, we obviously knew there was gonna be people in the audience at the end because people were
Mhm.
participating in it, but we had like 50 people in the audience who weren't even doing it. They were just
Yeah.
watching the end.
You're just watching, yeah. It's
Like that
crazy.
ending is
Like
so hype.
That's cool and all, but
I
when are
always,
we getting the 880 personnel moons race
Dear
relay?
Lord.
bro.
Look, I'm just gonna okay, this is not even like a surprising behind the scenes fact. Doing the relay is extremely stressful on me.
Right.
Like before the event and like specifically the day the run happens. People like some people came in, like Leanne came in that day. Zach 207 was only there for that day, and I felt so bad because like they came up to me, or specifically Zach came up to me when I was setting up for relay, and I was like, "Hey man, glad you're here. Glad to see you. I fucking can't talk right now. Like
Yeah, I can.
I have way too much right now on my plate
Yeah, because not
until the run is done."
not only do you have the entire run to worry about, you also have to worry about 70 people that might not make it.
Yeah,
Right.
and like
More than 70 people, because some
yeah,
people are just there for castle movement.
yeah. This time
Or
I'm so
like
glad that
backup
we
people
had
too.
Yeah, this time I'm so glad with how much interest is in the 120 relay, because we literally have already 12 backups, which
Wow.
is great
Yeah,
because there
For
is no
120,
way
yeah.
120 plus people are showing up on time.
that's
Like,
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and like this relay is going to be like really the true test of like this is the biggest relay we'll ever do. We're not doing one
Mhm.
bigger than this. Like 124 people is insane. And we
What?
even like because like there's going to be a 2P1C for cannonless, and then there's Bowser throws.
Oh
So
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
isn't that Taylor and Storster?
Taylor and Patty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, that's
it is.
awesome, dude.
yeah.
Dude,
So
Oh.
you're telling me we're not getting the 380 person 380 star?
no,
3D world.
basically Milo has said like, hey, do whichever one you want. I don't see myself doing anything bigger than this. This is going to be a world record in terms of the amount of people in a relay
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
And I think that's basically what I need to leave it at. After that, I need to scale back
What would
again. I need
that?
to give myself a break.
What would that be considered? Would that
Right.
be the most people in a relay just of any relay ever, or
I
would it
think
be
of any
considered,
kind,
or would
but
it just be considered
yeah.
like a gaming relay? It would probably be considered just a gaming relay, like if it was in Guinness Book of World
I think
Records.
it like well, here's the thing. I was actually talking about this, but people are like, don't submit it to Guinness because you have to pay money for it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not worth it. And I agree with that. Like we know what we did. Like it's gonna be an
Right.
accomplishment anyways. But I think yeah, probably gaming. It's definitely the biggest gaming relay of all time, like in
Yeah.
person gaming relay. But I think it might be the biggest relay ever because I don't think anybody's had 124 people gather for the same thing and all stick to it and
Yeah.
handle it like that.
Yeah, Guinness is kind of cringe, and you have to pay for like someone. You have to pay not only to get onto the Book of World Records, but also you have to pay for someone to like come out and verify it. But it's like it's cool. You have your name in a book with next to your world record, and
I mean, I
you
think
get
I
like
could
a
Yeah.
probably just
plaque
submit
and
the
everything.
video.
That's so cool.
We're gonna have the 120 relay video, so I could probably
Here,
just
hold on.
submit the
I
video.
could probably actually check real quick. There probably is like most people in a relay on the
Yeah,
Probably,
website.
yeah.
I love that pace though. It has made me known like I'm the relay guy, but I'm also for some reason just the Celeste guy now. Too. Like every,
Real.
every
Okay.
every run they accept me for, like I'm doing 2 Celeste runs this time,
That's insane.
and one of
Oh
them we
my
haven't even
gosh.
ran before.
Wow.
I think like I always look at. Oh, go ahead. You seem like you found something.
Okay, so I found this is a pretty specific one, but it's the only relay one I could find on Guinness World Records. Most people running 1 mile in a 12-hour relay. It is 118 people.
We're
Oh
even beating
wow.
We're
that.
beating that.
That's
I'm gonna
insane.
search on the website instead of just Google this time. I'm just gonna put
That's
relay.
crazy. Yeah, no, because like I originally thought like, oh, we're not beating what ESA did because ESA did Mario Odyssey 1 moon per person, and that's obviously not
Mhm.
124 people, but I figured it would be close to it. But no, they like doubled up people because they couldn't get enough people to do it, so it was only 89 total people. So we're
Yeah.
beating that
Right.
by like 34. Like it's crazy.
It's
Okay.
I always like look back and sometimes worry, but like it's crazy how much stuff that like not even us as a group, like both us as a group and like individually, the stuff that like we've accomplished, it's actually crazy to think about. And it's like going back, I sometimes worry, like, you ever had those what ifs, like kind of like, oh, what the world would be like if this time traveler moved this rock to the right. It's
Yeah.
always like kind of those where it's like, what if I never decided to try downloading that 64 again, or what if because with Nintendo he met us through our friend Chu. What if we didn't do like a net 64 team race, and if we did, what if Chu asked Nintendo and Nintendo said no or just didn't see the message? Or like what if Swag never ran OMM? Like we would have never
Oh,
met
dude.
Joker, Like it's crazy to think about
It's
Yeah,
these
like what
what
if
ifs.
Druz didn't microwave an N64? Where would we be? That would have been
It's the
crazy.
same thing with Druz. Like it's with Bombs Bazaar and Druz. It was like, what if I never, because Bombs met me through my YouTube like community post. It was a community post of me. It was like a picture of Womp's Fortress recreated in Minecraft that I had made during the pandemic, and he commented on it, and I think the same day I found his server, or I found Bazaar server, which he was in. So I would have never met Bombs, Bazaar, or Druz had I not made that post, which is crazy to me. Like same thing with Fast Mario. Like there's so many people we would have never met had like just things went differently. It's always crazy to think about, and it's like um even with like my other achievements like co-op, like me and Joker becoming like and Swag and Zeta and Skeltan, like we're all moderators like of co-op speedrunning, and it's that's getting bigger over time, and it's like I can't it was like, what if Sunk, like me and Sunk never heard of co-op, or I never decided to join the co-op server, we would have never, like, it's like me and Sunk used to grind 70 star on co-op, and I don't know what it was, but I think one day I randomly just decided, like, I think it was like what was it, like 2022, like during Christmas around that time, and I remember asking DJ, who was now former lead dev of co-op. I was like, hey, like a lot of my friends are like really interested in speedrunning, and I figured like a lot of more people might be interested, and I asked him, I was like, hey, is it okay if we made like a speedrunning server, like that would go alongside co-op, and he greenlit it. And I feel like, had that not happened, I would have met people like Skelton, or like, like it's so crazy to think about, and it's like, because like we
get
own
that.
a speedrunning server, like Joker and I own the OMM server, and it's like these crazy like popular mods for 64, and it's like we're the ones like like that are like managing it. We're the ones controlling it, like speedrun wise and otherwise. Because I'm not just the moderator of co-op speedrunning. I'm also a moderator of actual co-op, which is like something that's crazy. Like that just meant that community had enough trust in me to like give me that type of power, and I feel like it's insane. Like even now with all the new changes that are going on with co-op, which I can't really mention because it's kind of like private. But like even the people from the other, because the community had recently split over some dumb drama, and the people were now coming back together, and now I'm the fact that they incorporated me in part of that group to like help bring co-op back to where it was before, and to make it better, it just feels good. And it's like I said, I don't think a lot of this would have happened had I not taken my interest in speedrunning, or had it's crazy. Like I don't know how else to describe it. Like I feel I don't know where I'd be if I didn't meet a lot of these people. Like I said, I don't know where I'd be if I didn't meet Joker or Swag or Druz or Daytendo. Like they're everyone that I've known, like including you, Joey, like y'all are all like family to me, So I feel I always try to imagine what my life would be like without you guys, and I just can't see it. It feels weird to think of an alternate, universe in a way of what would happen if I never did this, What would have happened if I actually gave up on installing that 64 on my computer? What if I just said, screw it, it's not gonna work, and I just kept pushing? Like I don't know, man. It's just
it's like that. I was like so close to like giving up on doing the 70 relay the first time, because like we only had, before the actual run day, we only had like 50 people. We didn't have enough. Like, and I'm like, I was so close to giving up. And it's crazy that I wouldn't have like now, if I go into a random Mario 64 runners Discord, or chat, or even like I just go into Cheese's chat, and like people know me because of that. Like it's not like the only thing people know me for. Like when I started YouTube and content creation, I was like, I want to be known for something. I want to put my name out there and stuff like that. And I think I've accomplished that in multiple different areas.
For sure, you definitely have.
But like, it's just cool that like Relay caught on that much, and like I wasn't the first to do it at all. Like ESA did it way before I did. They did in 2017 with Mario 64 because of Chrism, but I'm glad I was able to bring it to North America and make it like the way it is with pace. And like just like I said, making a name for myself in other ways, like multi Mario, like taking the plunge and deciding, yeah, my first 602, I'm gonna do it 1862. That's a smart idea, but
oh god,
but that like that put me like on a not a pedestal, but like gave me something to work towards. And then for the
Right.
next like 2 to 3 years, I improved in all the games because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get better at the game so I could in turn get better at 1862, which led to the hell that was 2405.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For me, my what if is like, so as I said, in 2021 it was the worst year of my life.
Yeah.
My friends hated me. I was super toxic. I um
Mhm.
in a way it was weirdly the the worst year of my life, but also the start of the redemption arc.
Right.
I had gotten the world record in Mari Zero, and I was done with the game at that point.
Mhm.
I was and I was just thinking like, this is probably my greatest achievement in speedrunning, breaking a years old record. So what is there to do now? And so I was searching for purpose for like a month, and when I started trying Odyssey Mars moveset, and as far as I was concerned, I was probably in my final days.
Yeah.
And then I met Swag, and him and I played co-op, like Waluigi's Taco Stand co-op together.
Yeah, I remember
And
that. Oh my
then
god.
I called him that night, and he was like, I'm playing with friends right now, but if you want to join, here's the Discord." And I joined, and since then my whole life has just flipped
Mhm.
upside down. I'm so much more happy than where I was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just like this whole JLB thing. This clan
Mhm.
has been a thing for a long time. It's not just a new thing that we've decided to start doing. This is something
Yeah.
we've been planning for a
This is like
while.
years. This is like years in the making.
And it, I'm doing it for like two primary reasons. One, because these guys, I owe it to them because they've saved me several times. They're my best friends. And two, well, because they're my best friends. Like, it's something that I want to do with them, that I really want to try. And I feel like we can go
Right.
somewhere if we keep making content like we are now. And
Yeah.
it's just, I'm just so happy with everything, with how it's going so far.
I like I like it keeps me up at night a lot, like knowing that like I've saved like quite a few people in our group like from
Yeah.
doing very awful things to themselves, and like it's like some, I'm not saying everyone knows, but like some people think of me as like a leader, and I'm not saying that I'm not, but I'm also not saying that I am. I just don't feel that way. I
Yeah.
like to feel able to err because you have like you, and that's kind of why, like, and I don't mean to throw things in the mud or anything, but like stuff like some of our past servers, like I guess Media Multiverso
Oh
do,
God.
it's not Fast Mario's fault that
No.
that server went down, and I don't like it that he keeps blaming himself because it wasn't his fault.
No, it wasn't
Things
his fault.
happen,
There's
but
just a few bad apples.
but
Um,
not even that, but it's the fact that like we were trying to change it to a community so fast and having these higher roles and stuff for each other, but it's like we're all friends. We should be seen as equals to each other. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
I feel like that's kind of the reason why it went down so fast. It was because like we, the like I said, our friend group almost broke apart because of that. And I
yeah,
feel like um it was just because we were trying to turn into like communities like I don't know, Simple Flip server or
yeah.
Cheese's server, like stuff like that, where there's like a social hierarchy,
Mm-hmm.
and because of that, a lot of us weren't on the same level, and it seemed to cause tension. Like I'm gonna use Trainwreck as an example.
Sure.
Like I said, like Trainwreck, he did a lot of dumb stuff, but for me to say that I hate him is something that's like a very big understatement. Like that he's still my friend at the end of the day, and we we both kind of like stopped talking to each other because of the whole issue that happened in Media Multiverse. He apparently thought that I was one of the people that wanted him gone, and that wasn't the case, and it just turned into
Yeah,
a whole big thing, and like it just sucks because like I lost a friend to something like that. And like I said, it's not Fast's fault. Fast wanted to do something for us, and I will forever appreciate Fast for the stuff that he does. And but it was just the way it was being done. I felt that it just wasn't good.
right.
There was a lot of things going wrong with that. And like I said, I like when the whole issue started, when people started moving to my server, you know, like kind of like Goofy and them, they kind of made me felt like I was just kind of stealing everyone, and I was kind of like taking all the credit, and it was just like, no, I'm not. And I wanted, it was mainly because Swag had left the
Yeah.
server, and he was in my server, which was already made, and I went to go hang out with him because I felt bad after everything that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happened that everyone else followed. And like I didn't want people to think that I just hogged that glory from Fast, you know? I didn't want to think that we were in some sort of competition to see who could have more people in whose server. That it was never that about that. It was, I was just trying to comfort my friend. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't
Yeah.
really trying to do anything malicious or anything. But at the beginning, and it wasn't really just fast. It wasn't fast. It was more goofy that made it seem like, at least the words that were being said, made it seem like that I was like taking everything, and this I think he had said that like something about my success, and I'm like, I wouldn't call this success.
Yeah.
These are my friends, you know what I'm saying? Like I already
Yeah.
had the server. The server I had wasn't even planned for just us. It was planned, I was going to like actually start making more content like regularly, and like having a community for like as my like for myself. But over time I figured, media multiverse just like wasn't doing good, and I was, I was like, in order to save our friend group, to continue our friendship, I just turned it into like a group hangout for us, which
Yeah.
is why there's not that many people in my server, because I don't just let anyone in. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
I
Like
think
I don't know. I just kind of hate the way everything had turned out after Media Multiverse. I'm glad that
yeah.
everything's getting better, but
Yeah.
I
you
think
know,
what you said about the social hierarchy thing is extremely true. Like with JLB right now we're a small thing, but
mhm,
you know there's hosts of shows. There's you and I. We host the podcast. We have guests. We have
yeah,
people that come on from JLB. But as far as I am concerned, I everyone who collaborates on the channel is an equal member, has an equal stake in JLB.
right,
That's like there's bound to be people who are going to be more popular because I'm working on a few things for the channel. You are too. I know Swag wants to do a
hmm,
couple things. We have a few gameplay
right,
recordings going on, but as far as I'm concerned, everyone who is collaborating on the channel, making something for it, has an equal stake in JLB, and
hmm,
that's what I'm super happy about. That there's no
yeah,
leader really. We're
right,
all
Yeah.
and
we're all leading each other
right, and that's kind of
or
what I
together, I
meant
guess.
by like some people. I want to say, when I say people, I didn't mean people in our group. I kind of meant more people outside of our group, kind of
Mm,
viewing me as some sort of leader, and I don't
right.
really like that per se, because like I said, I even like I know the phrase "be a leader, not a follower." Like you genuinely want to be a leader, but like I just don't like feeling that way with this group.
Yeah.
Like I said, these people are like they're like my brothers and sisters. Y'all are my siblings. And they're really, y'all are literally a family to me. This is like the family you would want when you would see on like TV shows, like the happy family.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. And have hiccups, but like that's just gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
we're all young people. We're always gonna disagree on stuff, and sometimes arguments are gonna break out, and this, that, and the third. But it's like I never liked it when people considered me a leader. I don't like that. I much prefer to feel as an equal to everyone else,
Yeah.
which is why a lot of times when there and like I said, I don't mean to be rude or anything. A lot of times I felt very like just, I don't know, exhausted, because like there
Yeah,
would
I
be a
get it.
lot of times where there would be people in the group that would get into arguments or stuff that happens, and then at the end of the day I'm the one seemingly that has to solve them, and it's like, I don't mind helping you guys solve your issues, but you guys got to learn too, because at some point in life, which is a point in life I don't want to get to yet, we're not all going to be here. So it's like we can't just rely on one person, whether it be me or Joker or anyone.
Yeah.
I feel like I do like how JLB, like the content creation thing, we have so many ideas that we want to put out. Like Mario Kart Wii Deluxe, where is a cool idea where we play we get like there's like 800 tracks in that game right now. 800 tracks
Yeah.
in Mario Kart in that mod. We plan to play every single one within episodes. We have One Shot that's going on right now. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
We had Mario
Mario's
Music
Music
Box. We just
Box.
played that.
We're gonna
And
be
it's like
starting Overcooked sometime soon, I
Deltarune,
think.
Sonic Robo Blast. Like we have so many cool ideas. Last night, we had done something. There's a website. It's called SM64, and
Oh yeah, I heard
you
about
guess
that.
a star. You basically guess a star based on what it gives you. I think it gives you the star number, whether it's a boss, how long it takes to get the star, what course, where it is in the castle. Like it's stuff like that, and you use those hints. We did a little thing last night where it was like 5 of us, where we made we did a thing where we would guess a star, and if we got that star, if we guessed our star, we would go and get it, and we couldn't move until we guessed our next star, and we would get to
Oh,
like
that's
10 stars. Whoever got to 10 stars first would win.
that's
And I
awesome.
figured that'd be a sick idea for a video,
Yeah.
like where we did that. And like I said, we're coming up with constant new ideas for things, not even just in JLB, just like in general. Like
Yeah.
for example, in my server, we're doing like monthly relays.
Yeah.
We're doing like monthly relays. We have a whole month, like whole 12 months of stuff just lined up for us to do. I think in April we're doing a 770. May we're doing Paper Mario. Like, and then on the side we have like just random stuff like LTAs, like the 3D Land LTA we did, or we were supposed to do Bowser's Fury but we didn't get to,
Right.
but like stuff like that. And and the fact that like it seems like it's becoming more of a group effort for all the stuff that we've been doing. It's not just a one note thing. A lot of people in our group are interested in doing this sort of stuff, and I think it's because we've gotten to the point in our friendships where it's no longer just a friendship. Like we want to be able to do everything together now. Like we want to not like yeah, we're going to want to do stuff on our own. We want to branch out sometimes. But a lot of the stuff like this channel, I feel like this came from the amount of years we've spent together, you know?
Yeah.
Even like people that haven't been here long, like maybe 2 or so years, like Super or Joker, like we've been here for a long time, and even the newer people that are coming in, like it just feels like like it's like you go into a group and you just click like instantly,
Yeah.
you know. And that's how it felt like when Joker first joined the call, like when we first met him. It didn't seem awkward. He just seemed like we always knew him. He just fit right in. It was the same with Super.
I was so scared.
You know,
I was
remember you saying
terrified.
you were like scared.
I was
Yeah.
terrified because there was so many good Mario
Yeah.
64 speedrunners, and I'd like
Yeah, there was a
barely
lot
touched
of
the
us.
game in terms of speedrunning.
Yeah.
Dude,
Because
like
like,
that.
and I can understand why you'd like people would be afraid to join large groups like that, because it's like you're afraid that you'll get judged instantly,
Yeah.
and it's like that's never good, you know.
Yeah.
Like you're like say you come in and like you're saying you're 64 time and everyone's making fun of you for it, and it's like that's kind of it's kind of fucked
I
up,
remember
you know.
the one time
But like
that
I feel like we did a pretty good job, and I think we've done that for a lot of people that are new, where
Yeah.
we've done a pretty decent job at like introducing everyone and like getting them comfortable and acquainted. Like I'm surprised, like I was surprised, like like Joey is seeing you like join our calls more often and stuff. Like it feels good to know that like people like you and Abel, like you guys are just regularly here, you know, like just hanging out with us because
Yeah,
it seems like you guys are comfortable,
I've
and
been-
I that's all that really matters. I feel like I don't like it. I don't like when people are uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was
you
pretty
know?
surprised
I-
to see Joey joining more calls. People
Yeah.
like Joey and Abel and Mystic.
Johan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my boy
Like Mystic's
My boy
joined
Mystic.
calls like 3 days in a row so far. It's very
love Mystic.
jarring.
Dude, like
Yeah,
in
Mystic is
general, like
awesome.
I think like a big thing that we've been talking about during all of this though, like, and this is gonna sound cheesy as hell, but like just do you. Like that's the thing I always like
Mhm.
think like again, you don't want to like look back on what you've done and like regret things that you've done.
Yeah.
Like what if I like looked back and like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna submit to GDQ or anything like that, and then I would have given up on speedrunning because I didn't get into it, and like it didn't reinvigorate me. Like what if I listened to the people who said, oh no, you should just do a 602, don't do an 1862, it's a horrible stupid idea. that kind of
Yeah.
like that made who I am today.
Yeah.
Like I just did stuff that I wanted to do. I've never stuck to like one game. I played any game that I really wanted to, and now it's cool because like all that stuff, like people know me for long stupid
Yeah.
speed runs like 2405 and all CC.
Don't do a
And, like,
2405, they said.
you'll
And
you'll
were
hate
right.
yourself.
They
said.
were right. They were right.
I think
And like again, like what if I gave up on 70-star relay? Like there's people who I would not have known, and like there's like literally like over 50 people at Pace who I would never have spoken to, or like have never been as close as I am with them now. Like 90% of the 64 people and stuff like that, like that
Yeah.
I'm really
Yeah.
close to now, and like that I have good friendships with because I just did the stuff that I wanted to do, and I didn't let people tell me that like
Hmm.
my ambition, or it was like too ambitious or something like that, or something that I couldn't handle. Like just
Yeah.
have the confidence to do that. Like that's why I always tell people, like someone was like, should I submit to Pace or should I submit to GDQ? Like the Mine 2001, he submitted Superliminal to GDQ because I'm like, you lose all the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
you just
that
gotta
game's
go
so
for
good, by
stuff.
the way. Super
Sorry, what'd you
Lemon. That game is so good, by the
Oh,
way.
Superliminal. I need to play it.
Super. You haven't played it? What do you mean?
No.
It's such a good game, like weirdly.
You just gotta take the shots. Like same thing with Pace. A lot of people got into Pace this time who never thought they would, because like
Yeah.
you just like
A
Pace
lot
is
of,
very
lot of-
accepting with like new people.
A lot of
So,
Odyssey people going this time, I realized.
yeah, there's like 50 people from the Odyssey community go.
I'm surprised Tyron's going. Isn't he in Spain?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, he's coming. Dance is coming from Sweden.
Wow.
Like
Yeah, I'm glad Europe people are coming, so that they're not just going to ESA every year. They're also coming. They're coming to they're coming to our territory for our event. But
yeah, yeehaw, brother.
yeah. But
I'm very excited that like Neil
Yeah.
and Kyle are coming. That's gonna be great.
well,
Yeah.
Jay has come the last few times as well.
Well, Jay was like the exception, but like it was he definitely was like felt out of it when he was here because
Right.
of like
That's fair,
because of
yeah.
jet lag and stuff like that. Even me going to like ESA, I was so sad when this ESA ended because I knew like I probably wasn't going to see most of these people for a long time because like I didn't know when my next ESA will be, and I still don't know because now my main focus is Pace, and now I want to go to every GDQ if I can because I just want to keep meeting new people and keep uh like getting myself out there and like talking to people and getting
Yeah.
to know more people. So
That's why I want this content creation thing to take off, man. That's why I'm putting
Yeah.
my all into JLB, just because if we start, like, kind of far out, I think, but if we start maybe making money off of this, I can quit my job. I fucking hate my job currently. I have to spend 9 hours a day sitting there doing fuck all. And
Yeah.
I just want I want something more. And I feel like this
Right.
is the more that I'm looking for.
Mhm.
yeah,
I talked with Patty the other day, and I was talking about how I'm really hoping JLB takes off because I want to do content creation instead of what I'm doing now, which is accounting. And she said that she could never really work a real job just because it's not her thing. Everyone has their own thing, and she could never work a
Right.
real job. Then, I mean, good for her that her content creation's taken off. She has like almost 50,000 subscribers now, I think.
yeah.
But yeah, she's doing super
Amazing.
well, and I'm just so excited to see what's to come.
Yeah, dude, I love that.
Awesome.
I love what I've done with like content creation. I still like I'm glad with the job I have because my job is working at GameStop. So I like my
Dude,
one thing
I
like doing.
wish. Oh my god.
My one thing I like doing, I like talking about video games. I can do
You're
that forever.
so fucking lucky.
But also like I like performing, which is where Twitch and also the these like relays and hosting stuff and these long crazy ideas come from because I just like doing unique stuff and
Yeah.
being
Right.
known for that.
On a somewhat final note for our, because we've gone on. I didn't realize we've gone on for almost an hour and a half already.
I was gonna
But-
say this is what I
Yeah.
mean, but you could have me on
Yeah.
whenever I can talk and
Yeah.
with your off.
Talk about
But
anything else.
speaking of these long, crazy ideas, what is next for King J?
Honestly,
Yeah.
don't know. That's like the best, the funniest thing about that is I don't know. I usually just kind of do whatever I feel, and I've mentioned that a couple times, and that's what I like to do. Like I'm doing some longer streams recently because I'm raising money for the spirit events to go to. Um,
Mario Kart,
like
all
the Mario
CCs.
Kart all CCs 21-hour
Oh
run.
God.
But like I think what you can always expect is like I said, every single pace now, because for some reason Milo's letting me do it. Just expect big relays. Like even though they're stressful, they are like the coolest thing I think I've done. Like it's either that or like really long multi-game runs are like the things I'm so proud of myself for, like becoming that
Yeah.
kind of person who does them. So like be on lookout for those. There's like specifically 120 relays happening in 2 months, and I can't believe I'm like not only
You're
that I'm
leading that.
doing that, but like that 120 plus people signed up in less than a week to do that. So
That's such a good
Yeah.
accomplishment. Like that is awesome.
That's awesome,
it's
dude.
wild.
Like
Yeah.
Well, Joey, I'd like to personally thank you for coming on the podcast for our first episode. We'd love to have you back
yeah.
on
Yeah.
in however
Oh,
long,
definitely.
if we don't have another guest lined up. But
I
is
feel like we could
Yeah.
talk about like I feel like there's so much stuff we like barely touched on that we could talk even
I
more
had
about. So
a
like
full list of talking
you told me
points,
the list, and
and the
I
only
was
one I
ready. I
got
was ready
to,
to
the only one I got to was what's next, and that was
I was
right at
so
the
ready to
end.
talk about like we didn't
That's
even
what
talk about
happens. You
like
have
2405. We talked a
Yeah,
little bit about the
a
relays,
little
but
bit, yeah.
This is
But
kind
yeah.
of what I mean when I say like this group, like we just blend so well together where we don't even need those type of things sometimes. We just kind of like start talking and it's just like it just kind of like when we our conversations just blend into the next one. It's never
yeah,
really like I don't think like at this in this whole video we've had any sort of silence or anything. It's just been
yeah.
constant talking, which
No, yeah, and
I
like
We've
like I
got
said, I
a
feel like we barely touched anything too. There's a lot of stuff that we could touch even more on.
we got a little deep
right.
for episode 1. That was like some maybe some episode
Yeah.
5 shit, but but yeah. Is there anything you'd like to plug before we end the cast?
I mean, yeah, I stream pretty much almost every single day. Like every day that I feel like streaming, which is most of them. I stream at twitch.tv/KingJ0444, and everything else is with a 0 because that makes sense, right?
That makes so much
So,
sense. All
makes
right.
so much. Other than that, just make sure to watch the relay. That's like probably gonna be
Yeah,
the biggest thing I do this year. Like last year, the biggest thing I
seriously.
did was 2405. This year it's gonna be the 120 person relay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be my magnum opus this year. So
Let's
Awesome,
go.
man. Well, I'd like to thank everyone so much for listening, watching, whatever you're doing, however you're doing it. But hopefully we can be back next week if we get one in time. I think we're gonna try recording another one this week with another guest.
Yeah.
But I've been
Um
Joker. Would you like to say anything, Needle?
This is Needle, and I would like to thank the audience of Zeta, Skelton, and Keys for listening in. I'm glad you guys have a good time. I've been reading their chat. I've
They're
been
the
reading the channel chat the whole time, and like
yeah.
I'm really glad you guys have enjoyed listening to us, and that just makes me want to do more of this. So
you're
Yeah.
gonna say I feel and I approve this message. I was so ready for it.
I'll list them as producers in the credits.